If your emails are pretty, but they're not getting clicks and converting, it might not be your product, service, or offer. It could be the layout of your email. I'm Taylor Wilson, and I've been doing email marketing for over 20 years. And one of the things that I found is a lot of emails look really pretty. They've got big pictures, maybe a lot of buttons on them, but they're not actually designed for conversion. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through examples of emails. I'm going to use a bunch of pre-existing templates that I found in Canva, and I'm going to walk you through 5 simple steps for when designing emails that will actually convert. And then I'm going to show you how I took a template that I think was pretty, but not geared towards conversion, and how I would gear that template and make some tweaks in Canva to make it a higher converting email. Rule number 1, every email needs one primary action and one conversion goal. The fastest way to kill clicks is by giving people too many choices. If you want someone to read your book, don't also ask them to shop, read your magazine, or download some lead magnet that you have all in the same email. Pick the one thing you want them to do. Everything else supports that one action. So when I'm designing an email, I ask myself, what is that one thing, that one action we want them to take if we were able to get them to click? That becomes your primary button. Everything else in that email becomes secondary. Rule number 2, build a scan path. People don't read long emails, they scan them. So we design a simple path for the eye to follow. Headline, proof, call to action. Your headline should say what this email is about in one clear sentence. Then you need a proof block that says, why should I care? This is where testimonials can be really helpful. But let's say you don't have a bunch of testimonials or Google reviews or proof points like that. This is where bullet points can even help you out. Your proof points should somehow align to a problem that you solve, or a pain that your audience has that you're giving some relief to. Rule number 3, design for thumbs, these little buddies. People are scrolling on their phone. Your emails now, more than ever, need to be designed for mobile and the mobile experience. Now, here are some things that can help you with mobile design. You want generous spacing so that sections don't blur together and so that buttons are easy to tap. If someone has to pinch and zoom in, you've lost them. Rule number 4, visual hierarchy beats more design or more pretty pictures. Conversion design is actually more about subtraction. The more you give people, the more likely they are to just throw it in the trash and move on to the next thing. You want to keep your audience really focused with your email marketing. Don't give them a lot to be distracted by. Your job is to tell where their eyes should go. Use one accent color for the call to action. Use 1 to 2 fonts max, and don't stack a lot of decorative elements that compete with that button that you're trying to get them to click. If your design is fighting the message of the email, then the message might get lost and it will lose. But the message is the thing that connects, that moves them to action. So you don't want that to get lost because your design is too cluttered. Rule number 5, match the layout of your email to the type of email you're sending. Let's talk about the 3 most common types. Promo emails are all about speed, getting someone to take action quickly. In those, you want to lead with the offer, give the key details, and put the call to action right there front and center. A simple structure is a big offer headline, a few bullet points underneath, and a big bold call to action button. Newsletters have a lot more content in them, and they're about scannability. I would keep these to 3 sections max. We've all seen those newsletters that have 20 different things in them. People don't read it all, they move on. You're giving them too much information. Keep it to the rule of 3. Each section in a newsletter should have one big headline, a few sentences, and a read more link. And you still want a primary call to action in that email newsletter, something you're still trying to get people to do alongside of the content that you're providing to them. That's probably value-based content. It might be articles, blogs, pieces of content that you've created that are going to help them in some way. But you still might have a primary call to action button up at the top before all of the articles, and again reinforced at the bottom. All right, the third type of email is launch emails. Those are about building belief and trust, and they're usually about something that's brand new, that's about to come out. Maybe you're teasing something that's about to come out, and or it just hit the market and you are ready to tell the world about it. You need to really quickly explain what it is, why it matters, and what happens next if your audience takes action. A simple structure is what this is, proof, what you get, and the call to action button. All right, to wrap it up before I get into showing you a couple of email examples and what doesn't work and what works, I want to give you the 60-second stat that you can use to audit any email to take that email from pretty to high converting. Ask yourself these questions when looking at your email. 1, does this email have one primary goal and one primary call to action? 2, is there a clear scan path, a headline, proof, and a call to action? 3, does it work on mobile? Is it thumb friendly? 4, is the hierarchy clear and simple with a couple of colors and just a couple of fonts? 5, does the email layout actually match the intention of the email? Is it a promo, a newsletter, or a launch? All right, so now I want to do a quick screen share and just show you a couple of examples so that you can take these tips and see them actually in action. So this is just me going into Canva and actually using the Canva AI and saying, I want an email newsletter template. And this is what it gave me. You can see here, this is just a baseline template. It doesn't have any real design on it yet, but it is a layout. And what I'm noticing is it is already very quickly breaking that rule that we talked about, which is it's giving the user way too much information and there are way too many different calls to action. It's just too much. So very quickly, I would not want to use this template because it's just got way too many things side by side. There's no visual hierarchy where people are looking and scrolling sort of from top to bottom. All right, I'm going to show you another one. So this is a Canva template, a pre-built template that I found. And here's what I want to call out about it. It does look pretty. The colors are nice. The imagery is interesting looking. But here's what I want to call out that I don't like about this. One is introducing savvy finance. That at the beginning does not tell me anything. This would be a launch email. That does not tell me anything about why I need this. So what I would want to do is I would actually want to move your money's new bodyguard. I would want to put this way up at the top. And then as I'm scrolling down, and I also wouldn't take up so much real estate. So like this big image block, it's so tempting to design emails this way because again, they do look really pretty, but people are looking on their phones. That huge, beautiful image block doesn't really work so well when we're designing for thumbs, like what we talked about. And so what I would want to do is reduce the use of prime real estate here, not make such a big picture, make a really big bold headline, your money's new bodyguard. That would be interesting to me as a line where I would say, tell me more. I want to put that front and center, and I want to make it more about that message and less about this box and this image of this box, which doesn't really mean that much to me. The other thing that as I'm scrolling down, I don't like, it says right here, learn more, download app, $9.95 a month. It's got 3 different things that it's kind of telling me to do. $9.95 a month is not a call to action, but learn more and download app are, and they're side by side right next to each other. So that to me is not a messaging hierarchy that I like. And then as we go down here, lightning fast transfers, one tap, account switching, stunning insights. Again, when I'm thinking about scrolling on my phone and making this really mobile friendly, I would actually want to see those not horizontally right next to each other. I would want to see them lined up vertically so that it's better for a scroll on a phone. Okay, let's go to another one. So I've got this template. Thanks for making tails wag. It's super cute. It's got really fun, cute colors. It's got this picture of this dog. But when I scroll down, again, I'm not really sure what you're trying to tell me. And it feels a little bit like the cognitive load to just digest this is a little too high. Relive the possumness, missed a moment, see the highlights. Okay, that's fine. But then I get down here and there's these colors. It's sort of like we talked about having just a couple of primary colors. So the blue and the pink. But then you get down here, the tail continues and you've got 3 more things and they're in a different color palette. And so it just starts to feel disjointed and a little bit overwhelming. All right, let's get into my last example. All right, this is the email I'm going to redo that I've actually already redone before I started filming this video. So Bright Clinic. So this is another template in Canva. You would look at it on the surface and think, it's really pretty. It's nice looking. But I'm going to break down things that I want to subtract. Remember, we talked about how conversion is about subtraction. So protect your skin. It's got the Bright Clinic logo, so a spot for your logo up here. The issue date, March 30th. Honestly, I don't really care about that. It doesn't really matter what issue this is if this is actually a more promotional email in nature. It's saying, as we scroll down here, your skin is your body's largest organ. Bright Clinic, our dermatology specialists provide thorough, comfortable skin checks. Again, when I'm thinking about a mobile friendly, thumb friendly, I don't like that those things are side by side. Now, if you create a mobile responsive version, it's likely you can program them to stack, but a lot of times people design emails for desktop, they don't test them on mobile, and then they don't stack appropriately. They're not mobile responsive. So it gets here to book my screening. So I kind of like that you're saying protect your skin. Here's, why this matters. Here's who we are. Okay, book my screening. And then you scroll down and you see our screenings are quick, professional. So that's a nice proof point that gives me a little bit of trust. Oh, this isn't going to be some big to-do that, I don't want to do. Save 15% when you bundle. And then they've got some options here for other services that they provide. Now, this email is okay, but I want to show you my version that I created and why I updated the things I updated. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. So I think that big image of the woman and showing her skin is powerful, but it needs to connect really well with the message, and that message needs to connect with your audience, the person you're talking to on the other side of the screen. So I reframed the language. I actually took language that was buried further down in the email and I moved it up front and center. So I said, did you know your skin is your body's largest organ and it deserves care and attention? What I like about moving that line up is it immediately grabs the user's attention and say, this is about you and your skin, and you need to pay attention to it. And then I kind of feel the human, nice vibe of this woman thinking about her skin, thinking about my own skin. It makes me reflect. Then we move down, and you'll notice I took out that 2-column layout. This is about readability and that visual hierarchy. That's where I put the line, regular screenings can detect early signs of skin cancer. I wanted that proof point, that really important statement, to be right front and center next. At Bright Clinic, here we are, we're introducing ourselves. We provide thorough, comfortable skin checks. Okay, that's good. Take a proactive step for your health. Book my appointment. I updated the language on this button from book my screening, which was what was in the Canva template, to book my appointment, because I think book my screening can sound scary, and that reminds me of going in and getting blood drawn at the doctor's office. Book my appointment just sounds a lot more approachable, and I might book an appointment for something that's not clinical. There's all types of appointments that you book, and so that feels much more approachable. Then what I did was I called out in that Larger font, again, save 15% when you bundle with another treatment. I have the options to have both treatments here. Yes, you can learn more. Those are not the primary call to action, but here's what I did. Then I put book my appointment again. I reinforced that primary call to action. So what I did is I simplified. I reduced the amount of fonts being used. So this is two different fonts, 3 different font sizes, but it's not too much of like competing visual hierarchy. I also made everything in one column so that it's much easier to scroll through and digest. I put you, the audience, at the top, at the front and center of the messaging. Hey, this is something that's going to help you. Do I have your attention? Then I made it really easy to scroll through without too many different competing places to look from side to side or to click on. I'm going to show you one other Canva template that I found that I liked, and I'll tell you why I like this. I didn't do anything to this template. I just found this one and I liked it. So this is, I would say this is a promotional email. What I like about it, it is a nice big image at the top. Find your flow again with a really clear call to action message that's about you, the audience. Then there's some proof points right here. Then there's a call to action, and all of that is right front and center at the top of the email. Then I get into a few places to learn more, right? This is the kind of yoga you could do as this yoga studio. And then once again, we have a clear call to action, save your spot. Now, if you feel like you're sending a lot of emails out and they're not converting, click the link below, schedule a free consultation with us. We'd love to talk to you about your email marketing program so that we can create emails that look good and also convert. Now, if you like this and you want more tips on branding and marketing that sizzles, watch the next video.